Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So it looks like Bitcoin, after a week of pumping, is now stalling out. We did recently see this high, $52,800 per BTC, and now you guys can see here, since about Wednesday, we couldn't really find any more momentum for the King crypto, and now that candlestick there is not looking good. As of the time of this recording, we're seeing Bitcoin here. Here, let me throw that on there, show you guys what's going on now. Bitcoin looking very, very bearish, at least for the short-term period. Again, this is just the hourly. Overall, though, guys, the trend is still looking very, very bullish. Right now, we're looking at a Bitcoin price of around 51,300, so has lost all the gains from yesterday, all the gains from the 15th. Now we're trying to hold this base here, hold support within that shorter time frame. But as you guys can see, it is not looking like support is holding. So wow, cascading down in real time as I'm speaking. Nevertheless, we're still seeing greed in the space. 76 for greed, guys. Market cap is now $1.94 trillion. Volume has gone down quite a bit, 26.24%. Bitcoin dominance still holding on. Dare I look at it again? Okay, well, altcoins have also cooled off. XRP is now also down 63%, now down 3.73%. I think we're getting to this point now that Rect Capital was discussing in a video that he posted online yesterday, a video that I highlighted in my video that I did yesterday morning. I'll link it up here if you guys didn't catch it. History suggests that the pre-halving rally phases tend to begin some 60 days before the halving itself. So, guys, this is a very, very critical part in this rally. And if you didn't see that video that he posted, I do suggest you watch it. Very technical when it comes to the pre-halving rally, which is the period we're in now, the period where, we're seeing excitement in the space, but it's not quite that euphoria that we are to expect when Bitcoin really starts rallying beyond its all-time high. That is going to be a really, really exciting time in the space. And for those of you guys who have not seen that before, well, that is something very, very different. So pre-halving rally has just begun. We could see, and I've always maintained this, we could see a retracement for Bitcoin right before, the couple of months before the halving. This is generally when we see Bitcoin retrace. I thought we were going to start to see it here and for it to continue to retrace down. But Bitcoin has made new highs, so we have to readjust our expectations. But, generally speaking, every single halving we have seen, or before the halving, we have seen Bitcoin retrace into that pre-halving period. And even right after the halving, it's not like Bitcoin goes up right away. We generally do see Bitcoin take a breather before that huge blow off top that we are likely going to see in the latter half of 2024 and into 2025, possibly. So let's take a look at XRP, because XRP, although it was performing quite well over the last couple of days, now we're seeing price going back down again. Of course, just following altcoins ultimately, though. So nothing really to worry about. Nothing fundamentally wrong right now. 54.7 for an XRP, despite the fact now that we are seeing a whopping 2.5 billion in market cap within 24 hours for XRP. This coming from Michael Branch. With a remarkable performance, XRP has added a staggering 2.5 billion to its market cap within just 24 hours. So that was over that pumping period. Though as the cryptocurrency market witnesses an overall uptrend, XRP hits 57 cents today, marking an impressive 4.8% gain within the last day. Now notice, I'm bringing this up for a reason. Notice how, the rest of the crypto market was rallying with Bitcoin and generally rallying side by side with Bitcoin. XRP took a while to catch up. And of course, now that the King crypto is down, XRP is coming down as well. But, the capital was pumped in, and it does happen. It usually lags when the Bitcoin performance is good. XRP takes some time, and then XRP tends to pump. So this is okay. We've seen it in the past. A really, really good example of that, a very famous example of that, was the XRP price pump here when we did see it reach all-time high back on January the 4th, 2018. You compare that to Bitcoin. When did Bitcoin reach that same price target back in, its all-time high back in 2017? It was December 17th, I believe. December 17th, 2017. And then it took a couple of weeks before XRP reached that all-time high. So XRP reached its high somewhere in and around here. If you're looking at the chart, and Bitcoin a couple of weeks before. So that is generally what happens. I'm not terribly surprised that XRP pumped later, and I'm also not terribly surprised that it is coming back down with the Bitcoin price also coming back down today. So guys, again, we got to keep our eye on this, but it's also to be expected considering, the halving is coming up, and generally before the halving, we do see Bitcoin price start to retrace. Of course, we do have the media frenzy, but as Chad Steingraber points out here, we haven't even seen anything yet. The media frenzy has not even started. They're also combining BRICS talk with new world reserve currency talk. So that is also very, very interesting. This is the first time we've actually heard about this kind of thing in crypto, where they're actually now discussing cryptocurrencies in conjunction with new world reserve currencies. Remember in the last cycle, who was here? We didn't hear any of that. It was all, oh, look at this. This is pumping, and look at the market and FTX and blah, blah, blah. And it was still kind of in the fad phase. Now we're starting to see, because of regulatory clarity, now we're starting to see the talk, the narrative really, really shift. New world reserve currencies. Listen to this clip, guys, from Fox Business from just yesterday.
I checked Bitcoin, 51.8 right now. What are you going to say on that one?
So, well, yesterday we had the highest since December of 2021, right? Bitcoin is on a tear. I think it could be part of the risk assets, this overall risk appetite. And also, if you're worried about a reserve currency of the world like a dollar, Bitcoin hasn't been a bad option. Plus, all those ETF approvals, you're finally getting the big gains.
Because now you can make it's easy to invest in it.
It's so easy, literally a click of a button.
Yeah,
you don't have to start mining
you don't.
stuff.
That's right. And there's something about something called halving,
yes,
where the number of available Bitcoins comes down, therefore the I don't know much about it. So the price goes up. Halving.
Exactly. It happens every couple of years, maybe less than that. And so it is a big deal when that happens. The price usually goes up in or around that event. So something to also look forward to.
$51,822 per Bitcoin as we speak.
So yeah, she didn't really have her facts straight. Nevertheless, talking about it now in conjunction with world reserve currencies, the Bitcoin price moving up. This is mainstream media, guys, giving us the lowdown. CNBC also had Jerome Powell live. And Documenting Bitcoin posted this. Apparently, crypto assets appear to have staying power.
Crypto and digital assets in the U.S. has got a market cap of around $1.1 trillion right now. It's been there for a bit. Do you acknowledge that this asset class has staying power in the U.S. economy?
It appears to have some staying power. Of course, that 1.1 trillion was, what was that a year ago? A lot higher.
Yeah, it's had some volatility in large measure due to the lack of legal clarity. And so hopefully this committee will help that quite a lot here this summer.
Guys, it's got staying power, and CoinStats down here saying, could not say that for the dollar, unfortunately. This is why, the narrative is shifting, and we're hearing more about, Bitcoin in conjunction with a new world reserve currency. And now apparently the SEC is concluding its investigation into allegations of conflicts of interest within its ranks, particularly concerning the regulation of Ethereum. So we have a bit of an ETHgate update too for you guys, courtesy of Michael Branch. Tristan Leavitt, president of the government watchdog group Empower Oversight, okay, he shared a critical update on X regarding the SEC's Office of Inspector General, or the OIG, nearing the final stages of its inquiry. This investigation was initiated following Empower Oversight's referral to the OIG in May of 2022, highlighting potential financial conflicts of interest by SEC officials in cryptocurrency-related decisions. And apparently now the focal point of the controversy involves William Hinman, former director of the SEC, who, despite financial ties with the law firm Simpson Thacher, a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, played a pivotal role in guiding the SEC's stance on cryptocurrencies. The infamous 2018 speech, of course, we all know about that. Empower Oversight's FOIA efforts unveiled that Hinman had consulted with Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin and Joseph Lubin of Consensus before his infamous speech, despite guidelines to avoid such engagement. So now we're kind of digging down and finding the truth about this. Don't know how this is going to really affect XRP or the Ripple case. We know, considering Ripple is a big player in the space, considering it is a huge challenger to the Ethereum ecosystem, and if government wants to use a different system, and if they want to prop up that technology, they got to do it in a fair and transparent way, and this is just not what the SEC has been doing over these years. But we are getting some answers. Wanted to thank Michael for posting that. Mike Manfield here also bringing this up, guys, with regards to Nacha. They have just reported strong growth in same-day ACH for payments. Now, for those of you guys who do not know, way back in 2014, Ripple Labs did join the mainstream Nacha Financial Industry Alliance. So Ripple was one of those companies that started this trend off, announced that they had joined Nacha Payments Innovation Alliance, a move it says will increase its influence within the financial and payments industry. Of course, fast forward 10 years, that has done Ripple a lot of good. Well, Nacha is now reporting strong growth in same-day ACH, led by strong growth in same-day ACH and business-to-business payments. Remember, we were talking about Ripple focusing on B2B payments in a video I did the other day, which I will link up here. The ACH network securely handled 31.5 billion payments, okay, not dollars, billion payments valued at $80.1 trillion in 2023. Payment volume for the year was up 4.8% from 2022, while payment value grew 4.4%. Overall, 2023 marked the 11th consecutive year in which ACH network value has increased by more than $1 trillion. So we are consistently seeing this 11th consecutive year where we've seen payment growth increase by $1 trillion or more. So, guys, that is very, very positive news. Naturally, online payments, digital payments are becoming more and more prevalent. And, you know, we're leaving the legacy system behind. This bodes well for companies like Ripple, who are already part of this alliance. So wanted to thank Mike for posting that. I just wanted to step back here just to check out the Bitcoin price because, again, this is happening in real time now. Looks like it is stalling here. Let me throw that on the 5-minute. Over the last 15 minutes, we've seen the Bitcoin price trying to retrace over here. However, it needs to gain a lot of momentum. I think if we're really going to see a change here, I think now we're about to see this retrace. But I'm going to keep an eye on that. Going to keep moving along though. The Africa Tech Summit 2024 that just happened too. And guys, MFS Africa, which is now the new On Afrique. They were invited. On Afrique, formerly MFS Africa, is now to use technologies like stablecoins and blockchain technology to unlock the next generation of African growth. Note, stablecoin and blockchain technology. Stablecoins, a big sticking point here in crypto. This one courtesy of XRP Drops and Ripple, a partner of On Afrique. Listen to what's happening in Africa, guys. Then we're going to talk a little bit more about it. Listen to this.
And a whole lot more came together to discuss leading technology innovations at the Africa Tech Summit in Nairobi, Kenya. That event wrapped up yesterday, and Crypto World's Mackenzie Sagalos was there to find out why stablecoins are getting so much attention at the summit.
I'm here in Nairobi for the Africa Tech Summit, where I've been speaking with CEOs from across the continent about everything from generative AI integrations into banking to the latest innovations in crypto, DeFi, and fintech across Africa. Visa, AWS, and Stripe are all here, plus some of the biggest local players in cross-border payments. Now, by far, the biggest topic of the conference is the mass adoption of USD-pegged stablecoins in Africa.
So we use stablecoins like Tether, USDT to move money from one place to another, so moving money from the African continent out and even within Africa.
One reason why stablecoins are so disruptive in Africa is the fact that there's virtually no access to dollars across the continent. So if you go to a bank and need to make an international payment, you can't really do that with traditional financial infrastructure, in part because there is very little liquidity of local African currencies. What stablecoins like USDC are doing is giving people access to dollar-denominated currency and yield for the first time ever.
So we use stablecoins really to help people do everyday things like money transfer or sending money across Africa, because at the moment money transfer across Africa is very hard and at the same time very expensive. Using blockchain and crypto technologies allows us to make it cheaper, the rates even better for every customer, and accessibility as well. It comes straight to your app. You don't have to go get it in a bank or anywhere else.
Stablecoins are also considered a safer store of value than local fiat currencies in some countries. And crucially, they provide a way for people to access dollars in order to do things like move money around the world. Another hot topic at the conference is how virtually all the big fintechs are using generative AI and credit scoring to evaluate prospective customers. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's recent and massive jump in price to levels not seen since the last bull run in 2021, not as big a focus for many people on the ground here because it's really all about getting access to USD in some capacity.
So notice that, even though we're seeing Bitcoin price spike, this conference, we're not, there's not a lot of talk about, the speculative price of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies for that matter. It's all about the use cases and stablecoin adoption. And notice again, too, they're talking about how difficult it is to have access to US dollar transactions in a continent, an entire continent, guys. Okay, this is not just one country. This is an entire continent. And this is why companies like On Afrique, partnered with Ripple, is doing so well. So some great news there coming out of Africa. Another great one here from XRP Drops. He's just been on fire. Federal Reserve's Waller says trading in the DeFi world will simply strengthen the dominant role of markets. I do not expect to see the US dollar lose its status, though, as the world reserve currency. Interesting how we're seeing conflicting views here. Dollar dominance is in question, of course. Listen to this.
This landscape, for example, the rapid growth of digital currencies could reduce reliance on the US dollar. People often conjecture that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin may replace the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. But most trading in decentralized finance, or DeFi, involves trades using stablecoins, which link their value one for one to the US dollar. About 99% of stablecoin market capitalization is linked to the US dollar, meaning that crypto assets are de facto traded using US dollars. So it's likely that any expansion of trading in the DeFi world will simply strengthen the dominant role of the dollar in those markets. I do not expect to see the US dollar lose its status as the world's reserve currency anytime soon, nor even see a significant decline in its primacy in trade and finance. Recent developments that some have warned could threaten to have status, if anything, straightened, at least so far.
So although he does not see the US dollar losing its status, he does say that trading in the DeFi world will simply strengthen the role of markets. So cryptocurrency obviously now playing a big role, as pointed out here by a Federal Reserve representative. But again, guys, the focus is on stablecoins, as it was in Africa, and also in government. You know, they want to regulate the stablecoins. XRP and XLM have been declared stablecoins by the World Bank. So, you know, we're still kind of waiting and seeing how this all ties together. And we've been speculating on this for the last several months. So it's going to be interesting what we see coming down the pike in the coming months. And I do think it's months. I don't think we're going to be waiting much longer before we kind of get more meaningful regulation and more institutional funds flowing into the crypto space. So again, another great clip here from XRP drops. The Wrath of Kahneman also brought this up, guys. Cornell did host a second dialogue Cornell convenes towards the new Bretton Woods. Okay, and look at what they pointed out here. By the way, this event was sponsored in part by Ripple. So there is a Ripple connection to this. And also, okay, so this presents the total number of mentions by topic, with the top 3 topics being CBDCs, private sector, and digital assets, and the future of money. So by far, number 1, CBDCs, 2, private sector, stablecoins, and digital assets. So there we go again, stablecoins, the future of money, number 3. And then everything else after that, discussing fraud, privacy and security, consumer and education, data breaches, global issues, disruption of banking, so on and so forth. But central bank digital currencies and stablecoins, digital assets, and the private sector, these were some of the top topics here. Also worth noting, they provide a selection of pre-reads that are very informative. So I will link this in the description of the video for you guys. But another kind of report here towards the new Bretton Woods, so transforming the new financial system. And I do have the document. I will link this in the description for you guys if you want to read the full thing. It will be all there, all 79 pages of this. So, a transformative system, CBDCs, stablecoins. Of course, it's going to take a while before this gets up off the ground. So we have to make sure we're picking the coins that we know will have value down the road. If we're looking at real world utility coins, if we're looking to hodl for the long term, guys, it's going to be utility coins. Of course, we also want to pick high flyers in this coming bull run, and that's why I've been sharing my portfolio with my Patreon subscribers over there at patreon.com for only $5 a month. So you can join that if that is something you're interested in. Remember, guys, what David Schwartz said back in 2019. Always a good reminder. This one from Digital Assets Daily. Even for the 5 to 10 year plus veterans. And sometimes I need a reminder too. The old cliche of being too early just stuck around like gum on your shoe. As we near 2025, this is the cycle I believe coincides with utility. And, there is some arguments to suggest that that is true. This was David Schwartz talking back in 2019 about this new financial system. And, even at that time, naively, we thought it was just around the corner. Of course, we got hit by the beer flu and so many other things. But listen to this.
The narrative for a few years, because I've talked to your CEO, Brad, fairly often, and he's made the case this is a way for banks to save money, use XRP as kind of a bridge currency. But I got to say, it doesn't seem to be happening. It seems every year this is kind of the promise, but we're not seeing a lot of adoption. What's going on there?
I would agree that adoption of digital assets has been a little slower, you could see it as being incredibly quick or incredibly slow, depending on what time frame you think is reasonable. I would say revolutionizing international finance is not something that you would expect to happen overnight. But it is a multi-step process, and I think the first problem that we encountered, we kind of thought that we could take a direct line to settling with a digital asset, and I think a lot of people thought that, well, now we have digital assets, let's just use them for payments, and that'll be that. Part of the problem is that the payment systems are just not capable of supporting instantaneous settlement. So if you think about a payment system like SWIFT, where you just kind of push a payment message out, and you don't necessarily know the entire path, and you don't know the fees until later, you don't even know if the destination account even exists until sometime later when the payment is actually processed by the the destination institution, there's no way that you could build instantaneous settlement into a system like that. So we kind of found ourselves in this situation where if we wanted institutions to settle their international payments with a digital asset, we first had to rebuild the payment messaging, sort of the plumbing. And we discovered something interesting on the way. What we discovered was that the existing plumbing was so bad, I mean, it dates back to batch computing days, that just improving that messaging was a product. That was something that banks and non-bank financial institutions would be interested in. And so we focused on building a top-notch payment network that can settle with a digital asset.
So the plumbing has been built, guys. Now it's about the regulation. And we were hoping that we would see that regulation occur during this time when they were building this financial product. But alas, here we are, an XRP still worth 54 cents. But the liquidity from this bull run, I think, is going to get a lot of these crypto prices up a lot higher. More and more am I seeing arguments for real-world utility to happen this bull run when we see liquidity flood into the market. I mean, ETFs is one thing, but guys, think of how much institutional pent-up demand for cryptocurrency is still waiting on the sidelines. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel, guys. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers. Please subscribe if you are not subscribed. I'm trying to hit 100,000. We want to do it by March the 31st. I'm going to be giving away 2 Ledger Nanos, not 1, but 2, to 2 lucky subscribers, free of charge, no strings attached. All you have to be is subscribe to the channel, so please subscribe by March the 31st to be eligible to win. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.